Hello, namaste, and a very warm welcome to all of you to this episode of Chalo Numbers Samjhe. Real log, real money, real decisions. क्यों? क्योंकि numbers कभी झूठ नहीं बोलते.
Now that we are done with the major profit and loss account हो गया, बैलेंस शीट हो गया, कैश फ्लो हो गया, अभी हम आते हैं एक और पैरामीटर में विच इज इंपॉर्टेंट विच इज हाउ हु इज होल्डिंग दिस कंपनी. इस कंपनी के शेयर होल्डर्स कौन है, राइट?
मालिक कौन है?
आई लुक एट दैट.
Who's the Malik?
मालिक कौन है? तो इसमें there are a couple of things that I normally look for when you look at this, and this is a wonderful representation of that. For example, L&T में promoters करके कोई नहीं है because it was a public limited company right from the beginning. तो इसमें वरना आप if you look at let's say Reliance, right? Ambani will hold substantial share of it. अगर टाटा ग्रुप का आप देखोगे तो टाटा टाटा सन्स एंड
टाटा
अदर
सन्स, हाँ,
companies
the promoter.
का भी शेयर होल्डिंग रहेगा. So like that, the promoter driven companies you can look at, and in that promoters, right, what you have to look for is अच्छा उनका stake कैसा है, right? So it's not and also you from this you can also see whether they have something called pledged their shares, right? Pledging the shares by the promoters means that for taking a loan they have given their share capital as the collateral to the finance company or the bank. तो pledge किया हुआ जो कंपनी है, शेयर्स जो कंपनी इसका प्लेज किया है प्रमोटर्स ने, दैट इज ए बिग वार्निंग साइन, क्योंकि प्रमोटर्स डू द प्लेजिंग ओनली एज ए लास्ट रिजॉर्ट. जो उनके पास गिरवी
कि अपने ही ओनरशिप उन्होंने प्लेज कर दिया, मतलब अपनी ही ओनरशिप को गिरवी रख दिया.
राइट,
करेक्ट. हाँ.
तो
So here, Shri, I have opened ये Reliance Industries का.
हाँ.
So promoter share here is 49%.
Yes, and there is no pledge
और
here.
यहाँ पे ये trend it is showing quarterly trend कैसा है promoter shareholding का.
Yes.
और यहाँ पे
And here,
pledge
since they don't
actually
have pledges, it's a very healthy one. Otherwise,
they
you
don't
see
have any
companies,
pledges.
so
Yes.
loss making companies वगैरह आप देखोगे, और the companies which have substantial borrowings, so you will see that there is a huge promoter who are, promoter pledging also, which is a warning sign. Yes, if it is constant or coming down, still it is good if the pledging has gone down. But if the pledges have started going up, that is a warning sign. Similarly, promoters एक हो गया, और दूसरा also what I look for is when you are you are now going to invest in the share, right? आपको share price का you want to see how it's going to go up or not in the future. So that is where FII holding also becomes important. See, because FIIs, believe me, are one of the best source of information for you to see whether that company's share is worth buying now or not. Because FIIs have better source of information, whether we like it or not. That's the reality, right? So they do much, deeper research of the companies before they put their money. So companies which have decent and good FII holding indicates that FIIs are having faith in them, right? Saying that ये company अच्छा करेगा. That also adds to your faith कि अच्छा ये company अच्छा करेगी. So and you can look at. And what it also does is it also gives you that flexibility that FIIs can actually start investing more when they see the growth profitability mode. So अगर FII holding is slowly going up or remaining the same over a period of time, that means that that company is worth looking at.
So FII is the foreign institutional investors. So
Yes.
foreign companies who are looking to invest into Indian markets, and
Yes.
nice. So आप कह रहे हैं अगर foreigners या countries across the globe are investing, they do better research, or they do have a good substantial research before they will be parking their money outside their own country. So obviously they need a even higher conviction as compared to companies who are Indian companies investing into that. So that's a sign. ठीक है.
It's just
Perfect.
like us wanting to invest in a US market, right? Now,
हाँ.
if you want to invest in any share in the US market, no, you will do a proper research.
Yeah.
आप अच्छी तरीके से करो. इंडियन मार्केट में फिर भी आप थोड़ा कम रिसर्च कर सकते हो, but in the
Right.
market you will do a lot more deeper research before you invest the money.
Makes sense. Makes sense. ठीक है.
right?
So if we go back to that L&T वाला thing, so यहाँ से हमें promoter holding and pledging for promoter pledging समझ में आ गया. L&T के केस में हमारे पास promoter holding नहीं है, but किसी भी कंपनी के केस में जहाँ promoter holding हो, make sure to check कि आपके promoter के shares pledged नहीं है, या कम से कम pledged है, maximum promoter के पास होना चाहिए. And then comes your FII. FII should be constant increasing, should be increasing.
Constant or
If
Should
it's
I?
increasing,
increasing,
you
it's a
can
good
say.
sign. If not, it
Okay.
should be around the same range. अगर आप
Same.
you see L&T, it's around 20% of the total
Right. I
shareholding.
think 19 से 19 to 21 it's
Yes.
ranging.
Yes. So which is not bad, right? It shouldn't happen that it was 20% and now it's only 2%.
हाँ, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. ठीक है. Then comes our DII, हाँ, तो direct institutional investors. That's the domestic. Oh, domestic investors. Deeper
Domestic
domestic.
pictures.
हाँ,
This is
sorry, not direct.
predominantly our LIC, UTI and all the
LIC.
mutual funds.
Mutual funds. Okay.
आप जो भी
Oh,
पैसा म्यूचुअल फंड्स के थ्रू डालते हो ना, so all the mutual fund money is shown under domestic investment.
DII.
so 43% of shares of L&T are held by Indian mutual fund companies and other corporates or so on and so forth.
Yes, that's right.
Right. Right. Then what's public?
Public is all you and me
General
investing,
public,
like all
me,
the
you.
real shareholders.
अच्छा, oh yes, okay. Yes.
तुम्हारा नाम आएगा अक्षत कुछ दिन में.
आपने एक 100 करोड़ का शेयर ले लिया तो ये 19.2 जो है वो 19.3 हो जाएगा.
कल ही ऑर्डर प्लेस कर रहा है अक्षत.
हाँ बिल्कुल, why not? Cool. And so यहाँ पे Shri, the trend that you wanted us to, or the trend that you would note is FII, DII, public shareholding सब constant है या increasing है, कोई बहुत कम नहीं है. इनफैक्ट FII, DII कम नहीं होनी चाहिए, पब्लिक तो इंक्रीज होगा धीरे धीरे.
तो टोटल सम विल बी ऑलवेज 100%, राइट?
100%.
तो एक कम होगा तो दूसरा ज्यादा होगा. FII predominantly, I look at FII is not decreasing over a period of time.
Okay. So two things then from here: promoter and the pledge part of the promoter, and FII का increasing होना चाहिए.
Yes.
Got it. ठीक है. That goes to our Excel step 7. FII increasing and
Increasing नहीं, but FII should not be decreasing rapidly.
not, ठीक है, not decreasing rapidly.
So instead of writing a negative statement, I'll write should be constant or increasing, right?
हाँ, should be constant or increasing, yes.
ऐसा बोल सकते हैं श्री?
But हाँ, मतलब another point is गौतम कि डिक्रीज भी कर सकता है, बट डिक्रीजिंग रैपिडली नहीं होना चाहिए. तो मे बी ब्रैकेट में यू कैन जस्ट पुट डिक्रीजिंग रैपिडली.
Yes. See, what we need to understand is now because of our mutual fund industry, growing so rapidly, domestic mutual fund, तो FII holding तो कम होगा ही थोड़ा बहुत, because domestic mutual funds have started to buy more and more. But as I said,
Even
it
if
should
so,
not decrease
what
rapidly.
happens is even if they are not buying, sorry, even if FIIs are not selling, because more and more people are buying, तो let's say DII are buying, right? तो उनका percentage automatically increase हो जाएगा, right, Shri?
That's right.
From public.
That's right. Yes.
Right.
Okay. And promoter shareholding वाला भी गौतम you can add. I know L&T में नहीं है, but just whenever our viewers are looking for any other companies, so promoter shareholding should be constant. Again, promoter अपने shares ही sell नहीं करे, should not fall drastically, and pledge should not be pledged. She is, I mean, promoter having the maximum shareholding, is that a good sign or कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है?
No, so promoters holding now in a publicly limited company cannot go beyond 75%. That is mandated by SEBI. अगर किसी का 75% से ज़्यादा है तो उनको कम करना पड़ेगा. They are given some time. So that's why you saw Wipro and all, Azim Premji and all reducing their stake, right? So many companies reducing. So 75% से ज़्यादा तो नहीं होगा.
Maximum.
Promoters having a very large stake only means that the decision making is with a few set of individuals in that company, which I would say is not a very good sign also.
Yes.
So I would keep my benchmark, if you ask me, I would say the promoter should not hold more than 50%, to 51% because they want to keep the ownership. So probably some will keep
So
51.
then the board will be there and they will decide the decisions. Makes sense. And lot of new age companies, again, we are seeing the promoter holding is single digits. Um, what would you say about that?
See, as long as it is professionally managed. Now you see, saw L&T, right? L&T is such a large company and it doesn't have a single promoter. So as long as it is professionally managed and not that suddenly some promoters have sold off their stake and just allow the company to run on its own, it is
Yeah,
fine.
makes sense.
Even if for that matter, if you take Infosys, right,
Hmm.
these companies will not have an individual owning a substantial part of the promoters.
Right.
Earlier it was there, but they have diluted over a period of time.
ओके, चलो तो आई थिंक 7 स्टेप्स हो गए हैं. व्हाट्स नेक्स्ट श्री? अब क्या रह गया है?
अरे यार मतलब हाँ देख आई गिव द एनालॉजी ना कि स्टॉक पिकिंग इज लाइक ब्राइड और ब्राइड रूम पिकिंग. तो ये मैरिज में ऐसे होता है ना व्हेन यू गो टू सी वन एवरीथिंग इज फाइन बट फाइनली यार bride should be good, right? Good looking. That is the most important thing for me. What's in it for me? कंपनी अच्छा
व्हाट्स इन इट
परफॉर्म
फॉर
किया,
मी?
अच्छा बैलेंस शीट है, कैश फ्लो अच्छा है, प्रमोटर्स भी मजे में है, मेरे लिए क्या है? So
राइट.
last parameter and one of the important parameters is how much is the company paying to its shareholders, which is what I want to be, right? So dividend कैसा दे रहा है? So have they been good in paying out dividends? Have they
राइट.
been rewarding the shareholders well?
राइट. इसका इसका एक और एनालॉजी वेडिंग वाले उसमें श्री में ऐड करता हूँ कि शादी तो बहुत धूमधाम से कर दी, सब कुछ अच्छा कर दिया, फाइनली रिटर्न गिफ्ट में क्या दिया उससे मतलब है हमें.
बिल्कुल.
ठीक है, ठीक है. तो डिविडेंड आई थिंक इज द वन
Yes.
दैट वी आर गोइंग टू
So
टॉक अबाउट.
normally, good companies always reward their shareholders in two or three ways, right? एक तो dividend. They give good part of dividend. What is dividend? Dividend is basically how much ever profit the company has made in the year, they will give a part of it back to the shareholders. So how much is the dividend that the company? And that is where I said the operating cash flow becomes very important, not just the
राइट.
profit. Cash flow अच्छा है, so that is because dividend is nothing but cash being returned to the shareholder, right? So that they can do only if they have good operating cash flow. So dividend कैसा है? So now if you see L&T has been always paying dividend over the last multiple years, many years, since almost 20-25 years. They have had a good history, and good thing should also be that the dividend should be increasing every year over a period of time. So therefore, it becomes very important for us to see whether the company has been paying dividends steadily over a period of time, right? And you should look for companies which have increasing their dividend every year. So that because that's a good sign. Because अगर profit अच्छा कर रहा है, company अच्छा कर रही है, so
बोनस
that
भी
means they
दे रहा
start
है.
paying higher dividends compared to the last years. Now, if you look
राइट.
at L&T, for example, right, every year they have been giving pretty decent dividends. So if you see 2021, 18 rupees, 22, 22 rupees, 23 was two parts, right? So 30 rupees. Then that one of them was a special dividend. So special dividend is something which company gives if there is something to celebrate, right? अगर 50 साल हो गया, right? It's
ओके.
50th year,
ओके.
something like that. Something was there, so they are given a special dividend. But otherwise, it's 22 going up to 24, going up to 28, going up to 34. So it's a healthy sign. So
राइट.
this is something which will also help you have a steady income if you build a good portfolio of these kind of companies. So these are the ones which will come back to you as income every year. So you don't have to
एवरी.
sell the shares for that.
Make sense. And should this be like some percentage of the share? Like अगर मैं ऐसे ही just randomly देखूं तो अभी 3400 का ही share price था and 34 is the dividend. So 1%, right?
One
नहीं,
percent. So one
1 से
percent.
भी.
1%. It is
हाँ,
1%.
1%. Right, right.
So when you look at it, and now look at it as a larger picture, right? Investment again, when we say it's a long journey. Now today, most of the good companies who are paying dividend paying companies, you will hardly get companies which will pay you more than 1% of the market value as the dividend, right? So see, frankly, the company doesn't pay you dividend based on its share price. It will pay based on its profit and cash flow, right? But look at it this way: good companies double their dividend every once in 5 years. Same parameter that I use for profit and with the revenue
Revenue.
growth. Every 5 years, it has to double. So every 5 years, dividends also have to double. Now, today, if you are buying a share for 100 rupees, let's say the company is paying you 1 rupee as dividend. अगले 5 साल में 1 rupee becomes 2 rupees, which becomes 2% of your cost.
Hmm.
After that, the next 5 years, which is 10 years from today, that would have become 4 rupees,
Hmm.
right? Which is 4% of your cost.
Right.
And at another 5 years, which is 15 years from today, that 4 rupees would have become 8 rupees,
Hmm.
which is 8% of yours.
Of your cost. So the cost price जिस पे मैंने वो शेयर
खरीदा था.
सब फर्स्ट टाइम खरीदा था.
Yes. So, which means
Makes
these
sense.
companies, if you hold for 15 years, anywhere between 12 to 15 years, you don't have to sell your share itself because they'll end up paying you 8 to 10% as dividend itself.
Wow. Wow. Yes.
And not, I mean, this we're not counting the share price appreciation which would have happened over a period of time, right? So when I look for stocks, I look for these companies which will give you dividend as well as give you the value growth with the share.
Value growth.
Now
Makes
keep
sense.
it in mind that you may say, boss, ये तो मतलब 1%, 2%, 4%, 8%, 15 साल में है. But I have public limited companies, like let's say I have Oil India company, right, or I have banks, SBI, वगैरह, who because government is a major shareholder are forced to pay higher dividend because
Hmm.
government needs that money back. So
Oh.
if you see public limited companies will have a higher dividend or a higher dividend yield, as we call it, right, which is basically dividend paid over the share price of the company.
Hmm.
Look at that; those will be giving you 2.5%, 3% dividend yield. But always remember, higher the dividend payout, lower will be your share value increase.
Increase. Okay.
So it's a trade-off.
Correct.
So if you want more dividend, you can look at public limited companies because they will give you a good dividend over the cost price that you invest in, right? But the share price of that company doesn't grow as much as these kind of companies.
Got it. Got it. So it has to be at a very ideal position. वही 1% जैसे नहीं percentage. So is there a metric that I can like then
1%.
see?
You can take
1%.
roughly 1%. 1%, anywhere between 0.7 to 1% is the
वो
dividend.
dividend yield आप जो बता रहे थे वो कितना होना चाहिए?
Wait, 0.7 to
वही वाला.
1%.
अच्छा.
Dividend
Okay.
yield is nothing but dividend given by the company divided by the share price of the company.
Okay. 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 That's calculated at every now and then and based on that.
You can, at any point of time, you can see, for example, LND आप देख रहे थे, 35 rupees was their dividend, and
Right.
3,500 is roughly their share price. So that's 1%.
0.86 है इसका. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes
The
sense.
average, it takes the average price, so 0.8.
राइट एंड क्या मैं ऐसा भी कह सकता हूँ कि अगर कंपनी का लेट्स से कंपनी के बाकी सारी चीजें अच्छी हैं जो हमने अभी बाकी स्टेप्स करे बट डिविडेंड नहीं है तो क्या मैं कह सकता हूँ कि कंपनी इसलिए डिविडेंड नहीं दे रही बिकॉज दे आर वांटिंग टू ग्रो एंड री इन्वेस्ट दैट सेम मनी?
Absolutely. Now, if you look at companies like Reliance, historically they have not paid high dividends. Because that is because they are wanting to reinvest their money. See, it's all about cash. The cash that they generate out of their operations, how do they utilize? So some companies want to repay some part of it back to the shareholders. Some companies like Reliance want to keep it and use it for growing the company rapidly than taking borrowings in the market. So, but yes, you have to analyze. Yeah, you should therefore look at the cash flow statement, as I said, and then look at why they're not paying dividend and using it for investing in business expansion.
गॉट इट ऑसम. तो आई थिंक गौतम स्टेप 8 हम इसमें ऐड कर सकते हैं विच इज डिविडेंड यील्ड.
So, Shri, can I say, for this dividend thing, because I don't, as an investor, if you ask, I don't like dividends. I want growth. So, for me, for all other growth investors, dividend yield should be low, right? And those investors who are looking for a stable income, uh, they might look for high dividend yield stocks, right?
Absolutely. So it is similar to choosing whether you want to go for the growth option in mutual fund or the dividend option in the mutual
Or
funds. It's very
yes,
similar,
correct. In mutual funds,
right?
very similar,
So yes,
correct.
but what I would suggest is you need to have a mix of both because
Mix
while
of
the
both.
in stocks give you a good passive income without having to sell the share. These value stocks will give you good value for the money, and you can redeem it or sell it in the market when you need the money. So you need to have both of
Yeah.
both of the kinds of
Mix and match of both.
yeah, which will give you a healthy portfolio.
Must. Awesome. So I think with these 8 steps, I am now ready to start picking up stocks. Uh, anything else, Sri? What else apart from these 8 steps? I know हमने आपकी इतने सालों की research, इतने सालों की learnings and knowledge
7 स्टेप में कर
इस
दी कंप्लीट,
इस
8 स्टेप
आठ
में।
steps में summarize करके अपने viewers को 40-45 minutes में ही दे देंगे. But yeah, I mean, any other things that we should check?
Yeah, so only one thing that comes to my mind is now that I selected a stock, so which stock I have, kind of addressed with these parameters. Now, there is also equally important step of how do I buy the stocks, right? Now, the approach that has always worked for me and the stocks which have created the maximum wealth for me is the stocks where I have been very disciplined in how I buy also, right? And I would relate this very similar to a SIP in mutual fund, as how SIP is the best route for investing in mutual funds over a period of time. SIP in stocks is the way to invest in stocks and build your equity portfolio also, equity stock portfolio also. अगर आपको फॉर एग्जांपल टुडे एलएनटी का ही एग्जांपल लेते हैं सो नाउ 3000 4000 rupees is the price of the share. Now if I want 1 lakh worth of the LNT stocks in my portfolio, I wouldn't recommend you go and buy 1 lakh today, right? Instead, divide that entire thing. 1 lakh is on a 4025 shares that you need to have. So buy it over 2 years, one every month or two every month, right? So
Right. Right.
and buy that over at least 18 to anywhere between 18 months to 36 months.
36
So that
months.
will
Oh,
help you again average out your cost
average
if
price.
the market goes down. And if the market goes up, anyway, you would have bought those, over a period of time, so your average cost will still be lower.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. So stocks की भी SIP करो. And I think a lot of these brokers these days, the online brokers especially, have the option of starting an SIP in stocks. Buy one stock, two stock every month, so on and so forth. Good, nice, nice. So I think with that you can average out your risks as well.
Yes, and also the one thing always has worked for me is even when you're buying some company which you're not fully convinced with, right? Or as we saw, right, our PE ratio might be very high. But best way to start off that has worked for me is buy one stock or two stocks of that company, right? And then observe it over the 2 3 months how the
Yeah.
price has been. Because if you don't buy, you will not observe it.
Yeah, true, true. This is something I agree. I mean, I think
Right.
I've tried doing this as well. Buy one, and then obviously you also start getting a lot of emails, and then obviously with the social media, you start getting a lot of updates and news articles and everything as well, because of the way the advertisements work. So I think that's a good tip. I've personally followed it and kind of had benefits with it.
Absolutely right. So, and the third one, which has always, as I said, right, have a mix of this dividend stocks as well as the value growth in your portfolio, so that when you need money, you have the value stocks that you can look at to sell. When you need consistent money, you can build your dividend stocks, which will start giving you 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs per annum at least over next 4 5 years, as the dividend as passive income for you to play around with.
परफेक्ट परफेक्ट ठीक है तो गौतम आई थिंक ये 3 टिप्स हम एक्सेल शीट पे और ऐड कर सकते हैं लास्ट के 3 व्हाट वी कुड से 3 golden tips so that that's what so that we have a a kind of a playbook handy for the people to take it away.
And last tip from my side is, yeah, the other thing that has always worked for me is the 3 to 1 strategy, right? So in any industry that you want to invest in, look at investing in three large cap stocks, which more often than not will be a part of the Nifty or Sensex. Two medium, mid cap stocks, right, in that industry, and one small cap stock.
Okay. This is
That helps
nice,
you
Sri.
build that portfolio which will give you different kind of value growths as well as stability and risk being kind of mitigated over this portfolio.
Wow, this is a really interesting one. So 3-1, and Sri, should this 3-1 be from the same sector?
Need not. So essentially, what it means is that in your portfolio of stocks, 50%
Ah,
should come from large caps, right?
hmm.
About anywhere between 30 to 35% in mid caps, and
From
10
big
to
caps and
50% in small caps.
so that your majority of your stock is growing, but is growing at a decent return, it's giving your portfolio that stability as well, and then the mid cap and the small cap to give the additional growth. वाह, ये मस्त है, ये तो बहुत ही best चीज. You were saving the best for
लास्ट
the
वाला बहुत
last,
सही
I
है.
guess.
एग्जैक्टली.
Awesome, awesome. Awesome. 11 steps for me to actually go and start looking into the stock market. But this has been super helpful. Any other last minute bonus, Sri, you want to share?
Bonus is, if somebody gives you bonus tips, do a research before investing, right? You listen to the tips. I mean, you should not say no to the tips. I
Yeah,
always listen to the tips, right? So I listen to whoever tells me that, hey, this is a good stock to buy, why don't you look at? But I do my research, get convinced before I want to invest or not.
lovely. Lovely. That's I think that's the best thing to kind of wrap up this entire session with. Ki boss, sabki tips tricks sun lo, but please do a thorough research before you go ahead and actually put your money into that stock. Um Wonderful. So thank you so much, folks, for watching till the very end. And yes, if you do like our work, please, please, please do like, share, and subscribe to this channel.